Hey guys, and welcome back to another FM22 Transfer Guide with me, Raxor FM, where today we are going over 3 signings and 3 sales for Arsenal. A side that have dipped in form in recent years. In fact, they haven't won the Premier League since 2004 when they went unbeaten, and since then it's been a bit of Champions League football, but more recently Europa League football, and even more recently, European football. So we're going to find a way to pick this team back up to where they were in 2004, win them some league titles, and we're going to do it by selling some players and bringing in some players. If that sounds like something you guys would be interested in, make sure you do smash the like button on today's video, as well as subscribing to the Raxor FM YouTube channel so that you don't miss the daily Football Manager content that will be coming your way. I'm currently doing a Salford City save, so please go ahead, click the iCard up above once you've finished this video and watch that save. Just is quite good, isn't it? But back onto the Arsenal save. Obviously they've got some talent in there and they have some serious expectations upon them. They want you to qualify for the Europa Cup and then the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, and they don't really care for the Carabao Cup. But the ticker is that they want you to go straight to the Champions League next year and then work towards winning the Premier League within the next 2 seasons after that. So they definitely want you to move the club in an upwards trajectory. And the issue is, straight off the bat, they're only giving you £10 million. Although you do keep 100% of the transfer revenue you bring in. There's a lot of players in this team that could go, but there's a lot of youngsters as well. So we're going to try and keep that core, but we're going to get rid of some of the dead weight. They want you to play attacking football, play entertaining football, and sign players under 18 for the future. So 3 things we're going to need to keep in mind when we're making our signings and our sales. So let's go out and get rid of some players. The first man that's going to be leaving the club is a player that came to Arsenal not very long ago, Cedric, coming in to Arsenal from Southampton on a free. He is now worth £13.5 million, and he's already listed on the transfer market for us. Very helpful there, Footy Manager. Thank you very much for that. And don't get me wrong, not a bad player at all. Would be a great rotation option. However, when you've got players who can play in that right back position, like the brand new signing Tomiyasu, you don't really need him, especially when you've got options like Chambers to fill into that role as well, or even Ainsley Maitland-Niles if you really need him to do a job. So it's not a position that we don't have cover him already, and it's a position that he's not going to get any game time in. So I think this one's one that you just got to get rid of because he's not getting any game time. He's not very young, he's not getting any better, and he's worth a fair, decent amount of money. Well, this is certainly an interesting one. In this save, he's a squad player at Real Madrid, and we sold him for £11.25 million. So not quite what I was expecting to happen in this man's career after he left Southampton on a free to join Arsenal, but it seems to be working out for him. We get a decent amount of money, he gets some decent amount of football, and of course he gets to play for Real Madrid. Everyone wins in this situation. The second player that we're getting rid of perhaps has a slight more of a chance of featuring in the first team, but still I would say quite a wee distance away from where we need to be. Mohamed El-Neni, he came into the Arsenal Football Club for just £7.5 million a couple of years ago, more than a couple of years ago actually, and since then he hasn't solidified himself in the squad. He hasn't improved enough, and I think it's time for him to leave the football club. Valued at £12.5 to £15 million, that's a very nice fee to be getting if we do end up getting that sort of a fee for him. In terms of his stats, they're nothing special. He could play as a box-to-box midfielder or a deep line playmaker, but we realistically do have better and younger options in there. I'd say the oldest and least good option we have in there is Granit Xhaka, and even he is quite a fair bit better than this young El-Neni. Well, he's not even a very young El-Neni, is he? But, for example, with players like Lokonga coming through the ranks, just being signed by Arsenal, if I can manage to find him, I guess they're calling him Sambi Lokonga. There we go, he's in there. We can see that, yes, El-Neni does have a wee bit more about him in some areas, but overall, they're pretty evenly matched players. Lokonga's 21, though, and he's got a bit of an area to improve in. El-Neni does not have that luxury, and I think he's going to be a bit of dead weight that we can well and truly get off our back for now. This man has stayed in the Premier League, not gone to Real Madrid, surprisingly, and he has left us for £12.5 million, which is a very good fee. Once again, we're getting, £20 million or thereabouts for those 2 players, And that is exactly what we need to be bringing in to be able to actually add to that £10 million that we already have, to now have about £33 million to actually spend on players that we want. He's going to be a squad player for them, which suggests that he wouldn't even be getting into our squad playing role, because, you know, if he's going to be a rotation option for Aston Villa, you'd expect him to be a pretty lackluster option for us. No offence, Aston Villa, but I think on Football Manager, you know, Arsenal have a few better players in terms of ability at the moment, but we're happy to see the back of him. We're happy that we've brought in some funds, and we only need to make one more sale before we can start signing some players. And that final sale is Pablo Mari, a man that hasn't been at Arsenal Football Club for all that long. He came in for £9.75 million, and he is now valued at £24 to £27 million. If you are not selling this man, you are crazy. If you can get between 24 and 27 million pounds, I would be absolutely amazed. But I don't think he's quite worth that in reality. He's only 3-star current ability. He's a centre-back option that isn't even going to feature on the bench for us, with the likes of Ben White in there, Gabriel as well, Callum Chambers even probably a smidgen better than him in a couple of areas. Versatility is what you really like, and a wee bit younger. This man is not too old, that's for sure, but he isn't good enough for Arsenal Football Club. He's certainly good enough for football professionally, but not a top tier Premier League side that is pushing for some league titles within the next few seasons. We did manage to sell him to Brighton and Hove Albion, and unfortunately we did only get £12.5 million for him, which I would still say is a very respectable and very good fee for a man who is not going to be featuring in our squad a whole lot, as I just said before. But if you can hold out for like £20 million, that would be a brilliant signing. But with all of those fees wrapped up, we now have around £45 million to spend, and that is a lot of money in the start of this year's Football Manager, with bargains out there left, right and centre. Let's go find out what position we need to strengthen for this Arsenal squad, because it's already pretty stacked, but I'm sure we can find a way to improve it. When we pick our best 11, this is what it's looking like, and to be honest, it is a pretty incredible squad, especially when you consider the fact that you've got the likes of Pepe, Smith-Rowe, Martinelli, Maitland-Niles all sitting on your bench, even some youngsters like Lokonga, Tavares, even Callum Chambers coming through the ranks are not bad options at all. It's a pretty stacked team, and I think you could definitely do well in the Premier League with just these players. But if we go to the squad screen, I love that. Go to the squad depth page, we can see a couple more gaps within the team and where we could potentially improve. For example, the striker position, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is going to be our left winger. I think that needs a wee bit of improvement. Lacazette is not a bad player at all, but at 30 years of age and with 1 year left on his contract, we need to make a decision about whether or not we're going to be keeping him around, selling him, or signing him once again on another year or two contract. He's a decent player in real life, but is he going to be your long-term striker for the save? Absolutely not. And Nketiah, definitely not a bad player and definitely has some potential for the future, but is he going to be starting for you right now as you push for titles? Probably not. So that striker position is a real crucial one in my opinion. Over on the left-hand side though, you've got Smith-Rowe, Martinelli, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Xhaka. I think you're absolutely fine out there. Same situation on the right hand side, roughly the same players, but you've got enough options out there that you should be absolutely fine for the entire season. In the cam position, I wouldn't even bat an eye at it. You've got Odegaard and Smith-Rowe. You're fine. You're absolutely fine, boys and girls. But if you go down to the central midfield spot, now this is where things get a wee bit more tricky. With Odegaard, who is probably going to be a cam for us, Partey, Lokonga, Xhaka and Maitland-Niles being our main options in there. And I think Thomas Partey is the only one in there that I would say is a really world-class, decent player at this current point in time. So for that reason, I would highlight the central midfielder as a position that you need to strengthen as well. Left back, you've got enough options with Tavares, Kolasinac and Tierney being one of our best players in the team. At centre back, Gabriel and White might not seem on face value like the best combo of all time, but they've got enough potential and they've got enough ability right now to do a great job for you. With Rob Holding as a backup, I think you don't need to worry about that spot at all. At right back, you've got Tomiyasu, Maitland-Niles, and of course, we did just get rid of Cedric. But those two options are pretty decent. Callum Chambers as well, very able to play in that right back position. Tomiyasu is probably going to be our starter. And he's got a decent amount of ability, but he could be slightly improved upon, maybe more of a rotation option for us at this current point in time. But I could understand if you were going to start him, because let's be real, he's going to be a great player for the future. So to summarize, apart from, goalkeeper, I'll mention goalkeeper. Yeah, fine. Yeah, fine for goalkeeper. Let's summarize. Striker position, we definitely need to look to improve. Central midfielder, I think needs to be improved as well. Maybe a deeper line one, as opposed to Partey, who's probably going to be a box-to-box. Right wing could potentially be improved. Left wing could potentially be improved as well. But nothing that we're too concerned about with all the big names in those positions. Left back is fine. Centre back's fine. Goalkeeper's fine. Right back, again, could be improved if you really want to. But we do need to make 3 signings. Let's go out. Find who we're going to bring in with £45 million. The first player we have brought in, and the man on the thumbnail, is our striker, Gabriel Barbosa, and he's even able to play in that right wing position if we do need a bit of cover, like I just said. He has just come in from the Brazilian league, where he has done very well in games, scoring 18 goals in 28 appearances. This man is an absolute baller. Didn't do great in Italy when he did get his big move, but I think on the second time of asking, in Football Manager, he's going to do great things for you up top. Already at 3.5-star current ability. Could improve a wee bit. I'm not sure how much, but I think he could definitely improve here and there. 24 years of age, so still plenty of years out of him. And if you really don't like him, you'll definitely be able to sell him for a profit, because we have brought him in for just £15 million. It could rise to 36, but that's only if he actually plays like 50 games for your football club, and if you don't like him, you're probably not going to play him that much, so just get rid of him. I think you definitely will like him. I think he's a great player in this game. I've used him multiple times in multiple saves. Going to bag you a bunch of goals, and let's find out who he's going to be playing alongside. Julian Weigl is going to be playing with our man Gabriel Barbosa in the central midfield / CDM spot. I think that was something that I didn't highlight within the analysis of the team. We don't really have a great CDM option if you want to play with that formation, and this man suits both the central midfield and CDM position absolutely perfectly. Of course, the perfect deep line playmaker, able to play that position exactly how it needs to be played. And the best part is he comes in for just £14 million, could eventually rise once again to £30 million, but only if he reaches 50 games. And of course, if you don't like him, you're able to sell him. Only 86k a week, coming in for such a cheap fee. With these stats, I think he's a no-brainer. 25 years of age, 4-star current ability, going to have plenty of football left in his career, plenty of top-tier football, hopefully, with you at Arsenal Football Club. I think this man is a brilliant pickup. And last but not least, I don't think that this signing is all that necessary. Tomiyasu is definitely a very good right back option, but when you have to make 3 signings and 3 sales, I don't mind having to stick this man in. Manuel Lazzari has come into our squad, and he is certainly going to be our starting right back, especially when he comes in for £10 million. £10 million! £10 million! For a world-class right-back who has got plenty of experience in that position, got so much ability, the stats to do exactly what you need as a fullback on support, maybe even a complete wing-back if you really want him to play in that position. He gets the stats in every single one of those spots. And if you do compare him to Tomiyasu, the good thing is, Tomiyasu is not ages away if I can actually find the man. So, Lazzari's probably going to be starting for a couple of years for you, and then as Tomiyasu improves, he's going to be starting in that right back position. It depends on what you really want within your right back. I think Lazzari has a wee bit more about him. At 27 years of age as well, he's still got probably another 5, maybe even up to 10 good years left in him. I'm not going to say 10, 5 good years left in him, I will say, before his physicals start to really decline. But within those 5 years, you can do a lot with him. And you're going to end up with an Arsenal squad after these signings and sales that looks a little something like this. Much better than where it was before, with Lacazette taken out for Gabriel Barbosa. We've got Xhaka taken out for Weigl, and we've got Tomiyasu taken out for Lazzari. I would just like to highlight that within the transfers that I have made, we have kind of just replaced the players that we sold with much better options for just slightly more. For example, Cedric has gone for 11.25. We've got Lazzari for even cheaper, who is definitely better. Weigl, we brought in for about the same price we got El Nini out for. Miles better than that young man. Absolutely stoked to bring him into the club. Pablo Mari, definitely not the same player as Gabriel Barbosa, but, you know, still, similar fees going on there. 12.5, £15 million, only splashing an extra 2.5, and you've still got a wee bit of money left in your budget. You know, nothing that's going to be getting you a world-class player, but if you put it down, you still got around about 3.8, £4 million in your bank account, so you're not worrying too much about whether or not you're going to have anything left in the budget just for financial reasons. But you could take that, you could sign a wonder kid, you could do anything you want with it, but you could certainly be selling some more players. For example, I was thinking about selling Kolasinac, even Chambers was pretty close to being sold. Leno, I definitely wanted to sell. Lacazette could be sold as well. If you want to rack up the funds, those are all deals you can certainly do, and then bring in some even better players alongside these ones that you have brought in. But I'm pretty stoked with the way that this one has gone. I hope that you guys enjoy these tips, enjoy the video, and appreciate what I've put out there on the internet for you. If you guys have enjoyed it, make sure you do smash the like button on this video and subscribe to the FM YouTube channel, as well as checking out that Salford City save so that you don't miss any of the future videos that will be coming your way. Let me know what you want me to do a transfer guide on next, and I will see you all later.